After the flood story, right before God revealed himself to Abraham, there's a unique tale, a short story with 9 verses, about the Tower of Babel. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. As people moved eastward, they found a plain in Shinar and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let's make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used brick instead of stone, and tar for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build ourselves a city, with a tower that reaches to the heavens, so that we may make a name for ourselves, otherwise we will be scattered over the face of the whole earth." But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. The Lord said, "If as one people speaking the same language they have begun to do this, then nothing they plan to do will be impossible for them. Come, let us go down and confuse their language so they will not understand each other." So the Lord scattered them from there over all the earth, and they stopped building the city. Genesis 11 verses 1 to 8. The third verse in the story talks about the invention of bricks, which was considered an important development. People at that time believed that building a tall Tower of Babel could reach the God. However, the purpose of the Tower of Babel may not have been very clear, making us wonder why God felt the need to intervene and view it as a threat. The story starts by describing how all humans were united through their language and ideas. They went on a journey, searching for a suitable place to build a permanent settlement. Learning how to make bricks, they began constructing a city where they could live and flourish. Though this may seem innocent and not meant to harm anyone, the following verses reveal God's dissatisfaction with their unity and actions. He decides to disrupt their plans. In the past, we have witnessed how water, the source of life, can become deadly when it exceeds its limits, leading to global destruction. Later, we also witness the dual nature of wine. It has the power to bring joy and celebrate important occasions, but it can also lead a person to their lowest point if not consumed responsibly. In the Tower of Babel story, we also see how technology can be used for negative purposes. Likewise, human unity has the potential for incredible achievements, but it can also be employed for shallow and negative intentions. Despite having intelligence and the ability to work together, humans chose to do evil instead of using their powers for good. The story of Noah and flood tells us how the world changed over time to become what it is today. In the story of Adam and Eve were they expelled from Garden of Eden after committing sin, and the world became filled with evil until the time of the flood. The story of the Tower of Babel represents the third and final transformation. The purpose of the world is for all humanity to recognize the Creator, and it's a journey toward unity and understanding. Before the Tower of Babel, humanity had the chance to unite and know God, but they chose a different path. After the Tower of Babel, the world was divided into diverse nations, and one nation, the people of Israel, was chosen. They were carefully chosen through 3 filters: Abraham's choice, Isaac's choice, and Jacob's choice. In Babylon, however, humanity chose a different direction. Instead of focusing on God's way, they focused on themselves. They used their intelligence and abilities to construct monuments to showcase their pride and exalt their name. This pursuit was about creating a name for themselves. The Tower of Babel doesn't pose a threat to God, but it symbolizes humans' ambition to reach the heavens. It represents the idea that humans can replace the need for God and declare their triumph over the divine. God intervenes to prevent this spread across the land. All humans gather around the tower in their search for God, but there is no diversity of opinions, discouraging open-mindedness and the freedom to think differently. This situation seems hopeless. The only way out is through external intervention, which creates a diversity of opinions by establishing barriers that hinder communication among humans. Now the whole world had one language and a common speech. Genesis 11 verse 1. Among the countless achievements of humanity, the emergence of language truly defines our humanity. Other inventions may not compare because everything we've accomplished is closely connected to language and originates from it. When languages mix, it leads to diverse opinions and the development of distinct cultures. God's intervention reminds us that without it, the world may have remained stagnant in a negative state for a long time, hindering progress in the right direction. Studying languages doesn't entirely dismiss the story of the Tower of Babel. According to this study, different languages evolved from a common ancestor language, suggesting that there was originally one language in the beginning. The biblical narrative doesn't rule out the ongoing division of languages. According to commentators, the world was divided into 70 languages. It's clear that Lot didn't separate from Abraham because he suddenly started speaking Ammonite or Moabite. Rather, it was only after Lot separated from Abraham that Moab and Ammon were born, and they slowly developed different languages. Similarly, the builders of the tower didn't split because of the confusion of tongues, but internal divisions among them caused the confusion. A fair and unbiased reading of the Tower of Babel story raises a thought-provoking question: does it depict sin? Were the actions of the tower builders inherently sinful or problematic? By carefully examining the description, verse by verse, and analyzing their actions and words, we can conclude that there is nothing in the story that can be interpreted as a sin. In one language, their actions may actually represent an ideal situation where people from different places communicate with each other. Traveling east could signify fulfilling an order to populate the land, and the technological development of burning bricks demonstrates progressive utilization of raw materials like clay found in the valley, which is commendable for constructing a city. Building a tall tower can serve as a beneficial and effective means for observations and protection. Moreover, the natural desire to be together is not problematic. Instead, it's a testament to our innate human connection. There's no explicit mention of their wrongdoing or evil actions in the eyes of God in the text. However, God intervenes and stops their activities. According to one commentator who goes further, the construction of the tower is seen as an attempt to provoke God. They came together with a single purpose, saying, "We will ascend to the sky and wage war against him." This desire to challenge God may stem from human megalomania. The collective decision to build a tower reaching toward the heavens represents an attempt to transcend the boundaries set by God. In conclusion, the Tower of Babel represents a significant transition in human history, where humanity shifted from being united around a spiritual idea to being divided into nations. It is believed that from these nations, one will be chosen, and the meaning of this story is to prepare for God's choice of Abraham, who will educate his descendants to follow the path of morality and faith. We hope you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. See you next time.